Thank you, gents, for joining us today. We're going to kick it off as we did last week with a bit of a challenge that I've set to our expert panelists on if they could think of one stock that could possibly change your life. As I explained last week, it's an idea I pinched from Henry Jennings from Marcus Today, when we the previous week talking about a stock that came up called Archer Materials, which is in quantum computing. And Henry said, you know, I chose this as a stock that could change your life in a little exercise we did during throughout Marcus Today a couple of months previously. And it got me thinking, stocks that could change your life. It's a bit of a challenge, Rob, isn't it, to when you need to hone in on one. But I'd put it to you, you've come up with one that's been pretty popular on the call ever since we started over the last year. What do you have as a stock that could change your life?
Yeah, so I think Atomos is the name that people should be looking at to add in their portfolio. Obviously, it's high risk, high reward, but they've got this agreement with Apple to be one of only 2 distributors globally for their new codec, which is ProRes RAW. It takes large video files and compresses them, so that just a general kind of user of video and audio files can get that same professional quality. They came out with an announcement, I think it was yesterday, saying that they've got record sales, 77 million. They've got kind of incredible growth numbers. We're talking about revenue up 275% on the second half of last year. Now, obviously that was heavily affected by COVID, but therein I think lies the opportunity. We've seen a huge reduction in the, Hollywood and the film industry getting out there and shooting. And so, COVID, as much as it seems like it's gone on forever and will never end, eventually it will. And when that happens, Atomos are very well positioned to take advantage of huge growth, not only in the film industry, but they're also positioning themselves for exposure to the gaming industry. So, we all know that, we've got world championships in different, online games now, and they're going to be able to tap into that, which is going to be a huge revenue source moving forward. So really excited about Atomos. Look, obviously it's a bit heady after yesterday's results, so I'd probably look to pick it up on a pullback if I hadn't already held it in the portfolio.
Yeah. It's a fascinating business, Melbourne-based, couple of young founders down there. We've interviewed them here on AusBiz a couple of times, and they've basically got this technology that can turn your iPhone vision that you shoot on your iPhone into almost cinematographic quality, isn't it? And they're having a big impact on influencers with their Instagram feeds and their YouTube videos and things like that, as well as into Hollywood. And as you say, got the support of Apple as well, which is no mean feat.
Yeah, and I think when you're looking at these life-changing stocks, you're looking out fairly far in the future, and so it goes beyond the numbers. You've got to look at the business of people who are running it. How do they conduct themselves? How do they run their operations? And we were really impressed by the fact that when COVID came about, they immediately started slashing the fixed costs of their business, including their own remuneration, which really showed me that they're in this game for the long term. So I think they dropped their fixed costs by about 60%. And whilst they should be in a really weak position, you'd think, given how much COVID would actually affect them, on a balance sheet they're really strong. They've got nearly $19 million in cash. There's no debt. It's just a really solid business to be a part of.
Yeah, good wrap on them. David, what's your one stock that could change your life?
Yeah, look, what I look for something that's going to be life-changing is, first of all, what is the product or service that they're offering will be sustainable in demand into the future. That's the key thing. And So growth is what I'm looking for, obviously. And in the commodity sector, I mean, some great examples of that was like Fortescue, for example, was one of those. The one that I like is BCI Minerals. So this is in the West Pilbara. They've got 3 operations there. Well, one operating at the moment, the Iron Ore Valley operation. So they're getting a really good royalty from Mineral Resources, and they've had a nice trend here. But also, what I'm excited about this company is their Marty Salt project, and the potash, high quality potash project as well, which will feed into Asia. So it's fertilizer for high quality fruits and vegetables. And there's a demand for there'll be a high demand for their premium quality salt, and the temperature up there is perfect for this operation. Now, it's the capital cost is around 1.2 billion. The great thing is they've already secured 450 million in funding from the Northern Territory Infrastructure Facility. So they've already allocated 450 million towards this project. They've got approximately 80 million in the bank already. And it's about 3 years away before the salt project commences and production starts, and also the potash as well. So there's a little bit of a lead time there, but they've got all the approvals in place. Plus they'll have more cash, and they've got a nice mix of debt to equity, about 60-40, 60% debt, 40% equity. So it's not dilutive. Or it'll be moderately. There'll be some capital raising, but it's not going to be highly dilutive for shareholders. So the other thing is the forecast earnings before interest, tax, and depreciation will be around 260 million. So if you look at their market cap today, it's around 340. They've got about 80 million in the bank. So this one is definitely, and it's a potential tier 1 project. What that means is for the next 60 to 100 years. So this is a stock that you could buy your grandchildren.
Wow.
So I can see like a long-term dividend stream and capital growth, and so that really ticks a lot of my boxes and what I'm looking for. So I think definitely not just life-changing for the next 5 years, but for the next 10, 15, 20 and beyond.
Yeah, that's a really good one. All right, so Atomos and BCI Minerals are our 2 life-changing stocks for the day.